what I particularly liked about your proposal, Mr. Berliner, was the focus on childcare facilities and facilities associated with children. And I believe Mr. Hucker has a proposal that I think, and I don't want to steal his thunder, but he actually went to the effort of getting it written up so that well, I didn't know how this was going to go. His proposal basically applies the underlying legislation to all playgrounds, public and private, correct?
Correct.
And what I would, in the spirit of support, I would certainly support what he's written out there, but I would extend it to all child care facilities. And that's the language that you have included here in your bill, where it has to do with children's facilities. So under the substitute amendment, it says children's facility means a building or part of a building which is part of its function is regularly occupied by children under the age of 6, requires to obtain a certificate of occupancy, and includes, but yada-yada-da, is not limited to a child daycare center, family daycare home, nursery school, and kindergarten classroom. And I would build upon the playground issue to extend that underlying prohibition to all such facilities. Because I think that's really what this conversation has been all about. I see there's some language that we're going to a mulch path and the like, fine. But I would propose that we extend this ban, this prohibition to all child care facilities as has been proposed by the substitute amendment. The other thing I would like to emphasize is I really do think we have to own up to the fact that there is a significant cost associated with this. I am concerned about what the director has said, which I heard, we really haven't talked about this. How do they actually do this? How do they analyze this stuff? How do we supervise this stuff? How do we manage this? How does the Department of General Services change its ways? And we know it's not free. Likewise for the parks, the cost is a range. Let's agree we don't know exactly what it is. But I think that we need to make it clear in here, and I don't know, is there a way to make it clear, Mr. Hamlin, that these obligations are subject to appropriation? I mean, we have to own up to the fact that there is a cost and we're going to pay it. Because let's not pretend, because otherwise what do we not fund? And we have our regular battles over a lot of these other initiatives, and we always scramble at the end of the budget to find ways to pay for things. Right now the stormwater management fee is paying for a lot of stuff. That's not associated with stormwater management, so is the bag tax. Bless them. Their resources, but these are not insignificant costs that I think we need to acknowledge in here. And if there's no objection, we could ask Mr. Hamlin to construct some language, maybe it even I don't know, just so that when we take up budgets as we proceed, the departments know that they're going to be funded to do this, because I think this is the fundamental challenge that they face, is how do we make this happen? So that's a concern I have with respect to the obligation we're imposing upon themselves, and I think we should acknowledge that with appropriate language within this legislation.